Alrighty then, here's our instructions for the 4A activity. I'd like you to work this along with me so you understand, because part 3 is going to be for you to do on your own and to answer on the discussion board. So the setup is, imagine you recently got a new credit card and you didn't pay much attention to what the terms of use are, what the APR is, and with this card it's 24% interest. To make matters worse, you go out, you spend a little more than you meant to, and when your first statement comes, you're surprised to find out that your new balance is $876. Well, you have a little time to decide what to do. Usually you have a grace period of about 20 days. So on the statement it says you can pay a minimum payment of $20. Of course, you can always pay the full balance, or you can pay any other amount in between. So we're going to do each of these things. Option 1 is we're going to pay for the whole balance in full. Now, most of the time you can't do that, but this is just to sort of give us a place to start from. So if the balance is $876 and we pay the entire $876, then our remaining balance is 0. You're only charged interest on your remaining balance. So since there is no remaining balance, there is no interest. So we paid the credit card company $876. All of that went to principal. So 100% of our payment went to paying off the principal. 0% went toward interest. Now that seems a no-brainer, but let's look at option 2. Option 2, we're going to pay the minimum payment. The minimum payment is $20. Now, if you have a credit card, you realize that every time you make a payment, your minimum payment will change. Usually it goes down. So as long as you paid on time, it'll go down. So while it says the minimum payment is $20 this month, next month it might be like $19.86 or whatever. But we vowed to ourselves that we're going to at least pay this $20 every month, and we will charge no more because we've learned our lesson. So if we start with a beginning balance of $876, this time the payment amount we're going to make is $20. So if we take $20 off of our balance, we end up with $856. Now, since that's the balance that's left over, that's the amount that gets charged interest. So let's stop and talk a minute. You can look at your sheet up at the top, or you can recall our interest for this credit card was 24%. That's APR. So we make monthly payments. We don't get charged 24% every month. It's 24 divided by 12. 24 divided by 12 means the interest we pay is 2% each month. Now, I could take 2% of the 856 and then take another step to add it back. But really what I want to know is how much am I going to have as a balance next month if I add 2% to what I have. That was our two-step problems, our shortcut. If we're going to add 2%, we add it to 100%. That's 102% is what we multiply. 102% as a decimal is 1.02. And that'll tell us how much our next bill is without me taking 2 more steps. It's just in one. So 856 times 1.02 means my new balance is going to be $873.12. So the second month, that's what my bill is. Now, I'm going to do the same thing I just did. I'm going to pay $20 and see how much I have left. Then I'm going to add interest to that amount. So again, it's 2% interest every month. So if I add 2% to what I already have, and I do it in one step, I multiply by 1.02. And now my new balance is $870.18. Now, if you're feeling frisky, you would pause me right now and see if you could do the next one on your own. Now you're probably not going to keep up with me. I'm trying to talk slow, but if you're trying to write and use your calculator, it's hard to talk that slow without doing it myself. The next month, you start with the $870.18. That was our new balance. Pay your $20. See what you have left. Add 2% interest. And there's our new balance. So that's 3 months in. We want to do this 2 more times. Here's my new balance. I'm going to pay $20. See what I have left. Add interest. There's my next month's balance. So one more time. I'm going to start with $864.12. Pay $20. See what I have left. Add 2% interest. And on month number 6, I would get a bill for $861. So here's the questions we want to consider. How much did I pay the credit card company this time? Well, if you look back at our columns, we paid $20 every month for 5 months. 5 times 20, we paid the credit card company $100. How much did the balance change? Well, it started out as $876. 876 is down to $861. Do that subtraction and weep, because your balance only decreased by $15. I paid the credit card company $100 and my balance only decreased by $15. So what percentage of my payment went toward the balance? Well, 15 out of 100. I don't need a calculator for that. 15 out of 100 is 15% of the money that I sent to the credit card company went toward my bill. 85% of the money that I sent to the credit card company, $85 out of every 100, went toward interest. That's just free money for the credit card company. So even if you don't have $876 to mail in a check right now, I think we could do better than that. So here's your part of the activity. You're going to choose an amount to pay. And you're going to pay it for 5 months. You're going to repeat the steps that I just did. Only you're not going to use $20. You're going to use something more than $20. Now, I don't want this to be, I don't want you to be able to pay it off, so I want you to use less than $100, but more than $20. Well, you could use $100. No two of you can use the same amount, so when you list your discussion title, put the amount of money that you paid in the title. So you're going to pay that amount for 5 months, and then answer the 4 questions that I asked at the end of option 2. How much did you pay the credit card company over the 5 months? How much has the balance changed? What percentage of your payment went toward the balance? What percentage of your payment went toward interest? And at the end, discuss whether or not you find that reasonable. Now, you know there's not going to be free money, so you're going to have to pay a certain amount of interest. But at least discuss whether you found the percentages more reasonable than what we had with the minimum payment. If you have any questions, give me a holler. I'll see if I can answer them. But really, I think the best way to answer your question is to follow along step by step with what I did in option 2. Thank you.